6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. Exi, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope everyone is doing good. And let's see if you can hear me. Yes, you can. Yeah, hope everyone's doing good. Welcome back to another live stream. As always, if you guys are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. Hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. What's up, Francis? Top of the morning to you as well. What's up, David? Hope you're doing good. I'm doing well. Thank you. Hope you're doing just as well. Probably even better. That'd be nice. Francis, of course, my man. Let's hope we have a great, blessed day in the markets and in life in general. But yeah, we've got some interesting points to go through. Dollar, interesting moves there. Yen looking weak, which is good for this pound yen position. Looks like we're finally picking up some momentum. So we'll go through some yen pairs. We'll go through some pairs on my watch list as well. Because, well, I did take two positions this week. One on dollar CAD, one on pound yen, both early on Monday, which is very, very rare. Of course, pound yen I'm still in. Dollar CAD did take a loss in that one on Tuesday. And I haven't entered a new position since then. So we're going to see what else I'm looking at. Potentially if there's new ideas I'm looking to try and take a position. Of course, if you guys are looking to take any trades or you do have any markets on your watch list or just want some other opinions, drop in the chat and of course we'll take a look. Yeah, GJ is finally picking up some momentum. I think all yen pairs are finally picking up some momentum, and we have one currency to thank for that, and that is definitely the yen. Because as I said yesterday, when I'm looking to buy a pound yen or pretty much any yen pair, very rarely am I looking to bank on pound or euro being strong or weak. It's more so I'm looking to play the yen. I'm just finding the best currency to pair that with according to my technicals and how I trade, and pound yen was providing me a nice setup at the start of this week, and looks like the yen again is seeing a lot of momentum to the downside, and I'm very, very bearish on the yen. Not only have we got a pretty long lasting trend, but if we scale to the higher time frames, this market does have room to drop. You know, if you look back, I mean, we can only go back to 2019, but still there's such a convincing trend to the downside here. Momentum hasn't really shifted. We tried to reverse here, tried to see the price create new highs. That didn't go to plan. And now looks like momentum's still picking up with the bears. So unless something drastic changes with the yen, which of course it could happen, nothing's guaranteed. But unless something really significant changes, we probably are going to go push to take a dive back to these lows. So that means yen is probably going to be weak for some time, which means buys on pretty much any of the yen pairs, yen crosses, make a lot of sense to me. Of course, provided you do get a setup. I'm not saying just buy willy-nilly, but if there's a good opportunity, especially from a swing perspective as well, not a bad opportunity in my book. And looks like we could be seeing at least a push this low, and we'll go from there. And regarding pound yen, looks like we can see a push back to this high, and then again we'll go from there. I am targeting further than that high. I am looking at 207.9, which is this high over here, and I will be looking to see if I can trail further, because like I said, I think the yen's still got a lot of weakness to see, and if that's the case, I don't want to really just exit at the high there, knowing that price has a good chance of doing something like that. I'll just be looking to see if I can trail some remaining positions, and we'll see how that goes as well. But yeah, nothing crazy with the technicals with this trade here. Just looking for the break and retest of the high. A lot of momentum came to the market past couple of weeks. There was one worry, which was the gap down here. I kind of had it in the back of my mind that price may look to go fill that gap before continuing. Some yen pairs did do that. So I was thinking, okay, maybe pound yen might go a little bit low to fill that gap. But again, I like taking break and retest, especially when there's a really convincing break of the high, which we did get here. So in terms of the structure, in terms of the setup of the trade, I did like it. The only thing that was kind of a little bit doubtful was the gap. And I said to myself, well, as long as price stays above this low here, I do retain that bullish bias. If we do go fill the gap, I'll see if I can find some other entries later on. But this will be my first attempt. If I need to take a second, I'll take a second. But this is a very convincing uptrend, so I don't mind getting in one or two times. Well, two times if need be. But looks like the retest is playing well. I really like the Friday candle close there as well. Really showing rejection there on the daily chart. We had a strong close on Monday. And then Tuesday was just a bit of whipsaw, to be honest. We had some pound weakness enter the market. So we had a pretty strong move down, but by the end of the day, we pulled back up, left a pretty big wick to the downside. More or less a doji, so there's not a lot of takeaway from that. Today's candle could be pretty significant because for the past few days, you could pretty much say that price has just been ranging in this area here. So we've been not breaking these lows and not breaking those highs. Of course, we've seen some wicks beyond both of those levels, but not a successful closure of a candle. Is this going to be the first day we get that successful closure? Well, if we do, then I would be pretty confident we can get back to here. And then I'll probably look to reduce risk. I won't start trading straight away or go past break even. But at that point, if we do take out this high, there's no point holding full risk back down there, especially when you've seen new highs. So we'll look to tackle that when we get there. But for now, looking pretty healthy. And there could be some nice intraday opportunities to ride the momentum as well, because you can see prices now starting to create some bullish structure and respecting it very well. So I would suggest, as long as we don't go and break through this low now, you can be looking at some intraday pullbacks, something like this, another wave to the downside, and that could be a nice buy to follow up. So I would say keep an eye on that, and I will be looking to see if I can scale in intraday as well. But yeah, finally some momentum entering the market. Still a long way to go to targets, but looking healthy. Looking at GA and Euro Aussie for a buy. Okay, we'll take a look at both of those. No problemo. Sage Trader, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing good. What's up, CS? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yes, let's take a look at Pound Aussie and Euro Aussie. Then we'll go through the USD pairs as a collective and kind of, you know, what's the next plan with the USD pairs. Well, GA, again, I'm still not quite ready for the buys anymore. I mean, we had some nice buys. Was it last week or the week before? Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. Last week, really nice push to the upside. Didn't quite hit my overall goal, but did get trailed out with some profits, so I cannot complain. But yeah, I don't like the way we rejected this high here, or formed that high. It's really aggressive. And I do have that slight kind of worry that we could be forming another lower high to go and attack these lows. Now, I do like the buys in general for Pound Aussie because I do like to be in favor of larger trends, especially if I'm looking to swing a trade for multiple days. You know, I want to be in the direction where majority of the momentum is, and that is still to the upside for Pound Aussie. But equally, I have to be respectful of what price is doing now. And yeah, as of right now, we are looking like we're forming lower highs here. So buys for me is just a little bit aggressive around here. Next best place, in my opinion, for a buy would be as price comes back to this low. We could double bottom, maybe sweep the low and then recover. Kind of like what price has been doing here. You know, sweep the low here, have the recover. Sweep the low there, have the recover. Might sweep the low again, have a bit of recover. So there could be a nice buy in that regard. But yeah, for a big swing, I'll be a bit patient for this one, because you know if the trend's going to continue, we very much could still be coming back to the highs there, but not quite convinced with that bullish move just yet. So yeah, buys, I would focus on this low personally. Maybe price forms a higher low before that, but that's kind of where my focus is. And Euro Aussie, I'm not the biggest fan of because I kind of look at this as a bit of a range now. Again, higher time frames, I quite like it. Same situation as Pound Aussie. We've got this long-term uptrend. I still think there's a good chance we can push back to highs. However, we've just seen a really aggressive rejection at the high this week, at this level this week, or was it last week? Yeah, last week. So again, I don't really want to be buying into that unless price is back at lows here. I can look for a bounce off key support, or again, if we do break the high here, then that will make some sense to me as well. But inside here is very, very noisy. I don't think we even created it. Well, just about created a new high, but altogether, not really convinced. I like to see a strong candle closure to really cement that that momentum's picked up. So yeah, I do have a bullish bias for both of them. I do prefer pound Aussie, especially at the low. Intraday, sure, we might see a bit of a bounce, but I wouldn't be looking for a crazy, like a big swing just yet. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound and euro. We'll go through the USD pairs next. Start with DXY and work our way through the USD majors, gold and silver as well. True. I can talk a bit more about that as we get to some of the USD pairs, but again, in all honesty, I'm always focused on the price action. Let the news do its thing, especially news releases, because when the news comes out, it will have its initial release, and that's when the fluctuation happens. It might go bullish, bearish, might do a whipsaw action, or it might even be initially bullish for a day, then reverse the day after. So from a swing perspective, yes, news has a big part to play within like the next week or two. But in terms of news releases, I kind of just look at it as noise, and I try not to be too caught up in the news releases itself. So I just focus on my zones, the areas which I want to buy and sell from. Euro might react bullish on the day, but again, I'm not really looking to try and trade euro for a day. I'm trying to see if we can catch a swing for the week potentially. But we'll take a look at them as we go through the USD pairs. Okay, so let's go through. We'll start with the DXY and then we'll work our way through the rest of the USD major. So DXY still kind of, well, it's been strong this week. It wasn't strong yesterday because we did close bearish yesterday, so there was a decline in price, of course, but we have reacted pretty well with this zone. We started off Monday, bit of a whip, bit of a push down. I think we gapped, a bit of a push down. But we've rallied for the most part. But as I've said, pretty much since the start of the week, that yes, I'm looking for buys here for the dollar, but I'm just not like overly bullish. I'm not like, okay, this market's super, super bullish like I am with pound yen. I'm super, super bullish with pound yen. DXY, yes, I like the buys because of the structure we put in recently. But would I look to die on a hill here? No, I wouldn't. And that's because if you zoom out, look at the bigger picture, we've been creating lower lows and lower highs here. So until we kind of break structure, I'm not going to be so entirely convinced with the buys here, because there's always that possibility we could have one more swing to the downside. Yes, we've had some nice bullish structure, some nice counter trend plays here. But as I said yesterday as well, as price does rally and we start to come back into this zone here too, I'll be a bit cautious with the buys as well. So as we drop to the 4-hour chart, yes, we've had a nice rally. There's been some intraday buys here. But again, I'm not so keen about jumping into some buys right now, to be honest. I think this is just not the best area for it. Even we're seeing some signs of the market slowing down. If I get rid of that, drop to like an hourly chart. I mean, structure still for the most part holding. We came back into that low, just about respected it. Nice push there, but again, we're starting to fail at highs a little bit. So unless we have like a convincing break to the upside with some real momentum, some real force come into play, then yeah, I could see some intraday plays for that. But then even with that, I wouldn't bank on a push all the way back to highs in one go. I wouldn't be surprised if we go for a bigger pullback and then maybe go hit it later on. So the biggest takeaway for me for the DXY is where we're trading. It's kind of coming back to more bearish territory. So yes, we've been bullish. Yes, we've seen some nice momentum. I'm not overly confident about buying here. Unless it's very intraday, you're going to be in and out within the session, within the day, then you can maybe get away with it. But I wouldn't look to try and position myself long on a swing bias, expecting more upside. I'll be running into a lot of trouble there. Not to say it won't work out, it's just probability-wise not the best place. This is the best place for a buy. If you're looking to buy, I wouldn't be so confident up here. So yeah, if the DXY structure is still pointing up, I would still be intraday bullish because I'll be looking to follow this momentum here. So I will still be intraday bullish. Like I said, if you do see a nice break of the higher pullback, there could be some nice longs intraday. I just wouldn't look for anything more than that. I'll always be a bit skeptical in this area. And Euro USD, pretty much the same situation, but flipped, of course. So Euro, again, expands the daily chart. You can see overall we have been in a bullish climate. Market's been seeing higher highs and higher lows. We've had a bit of a drop here. Yes, we've seen some lower lows and lower highs come into the market. Nice pullback into that zone. But again, as we come back to this area, I'll start to be a bit careful with the shorts. To be honest, I do think Euro is still likely to fall back to support. So I still would expect that to happen. But it's just I wouldn't look to trade it because of where we're positioned. And that's not kind of really where I want to place my trades. So yeah, my analytical mind might be looking at some shorts here for Euro, but from a trading perspective, I wouldn't be so keen on it based on how I trade that is. So yeah, Euro probably likely to push into support here. If I drop to the hourly chart again, similar to DXY, respected the high there just about. Again, is this a great place? I mean, we're looking quite fatigued now as well. So not only are we coming back to areas of demand, but we're also looking a little bit fatigued too. So I just don't think it's a brilliant place for a short right now. So I'm not really seeing much opportunity on Euro USD, or a good opportunity at least, based on where we're trading and how we're trading. We're looking a little bit tired, coming back into bullish, bullish areas. So I would be quite careful with that. Pound USD. Likewise as well, to be honest. Likewise as well. We've had a nice sell-off this week. Let's not get it twisted. Price came back to a nice supply area, strong push to the downside. We pulled back into that level, reacted pretty nicely on the daily chart, and we've seen some downside. But again, we're pushing back into some areas of demand here. Again, I still do think pound is likely to keep falling. Same with Euro. I still do think we can get to support, get to the lows there. But if I'm going to be taking advantage of that short, it would have to be in those areas. Down here, it's just looking a little bit flat to me. I mean, we were talking about a short off this zone yesterday. The reason I was talking about a short yesterday is because we had such a violent reaction on the pound. So I said, okay, even though price is now coming back to areas of demand, we have seen such a conviction with this move lower. If we were to pull back and retest this, this could actually be a nice place for a short, provided we get some healthy rejection. And we did. This was kind of later in the day. It was like 5-6 p.m. UK time. So maybe that might be a bit past a lot of people's intraday session entry times. But price did eventually come back to retest that zone. It's had a nice move. It hasn't come back to lows yet, but it's been a nice decline there, enough to at least walk away with something. But would I keep looking to actively short this? No, not anymore. I mean, maybe if we do get back to this zone, but again, I'm saying maybe. That just means I'm not really confident, and I wouldn't be. So as I said for pound, if I'm looking for shorts, I want it to be in these areas. I'll be so much more confident. Not to say they will 100% work out. At least in these areas, I know that I'm in bearish territory. I know that if I'm seeing some confident price action, some rejection, wicks forming, again, not that it will play out, but even if it does, I'm looking at really healthy risk reward back into the low, and I'll just be much more safer with a stop loss as well above the highs there too. So I'd rather get a bigger pullback for pound and look for opportunities up there rather than try and look for some smaller intraday shorts in these areas where things are looking a little bit more choppy now. So I'll be cautious. And again, seeing what's happening with the dollar, seeing what's happening with Euro, pound, we're getting that same situation a lot with the USD pairs. As for dollar CAD, this one didn't continue higher. It was long in this one early in the week. Actually caught a pretty nice move, to be honest. Just that my take profit was just a little bit higher up, so the market did reverse before hitting that level, and I did get stopped out. Since then, price did come back and retest this demand area. Nice reaction, however, again, failed to get going. I did say yesterday the reason why I'm not looking for re-entries is because I'm not quite convinced about this move here. Because especially when you got a really aggressive market, let's say you got a market that's trending like this, when you're looking for a pullback, you kind of want the market to stay in that theme. So you want aggressive moves, you want aggressive moves, shallow pullbacks. If I'm seeing the market start to do this now, there's clearly a change in momentum. There's clearly a change in the trend from what we were doing here to what we're doing here now. And that's basically what's happened here. You know, price was just consolidating, taking a bit of time, ripping through the highs, consolidating, ripping through the highs, consolidating, ripping through the highs, consolidating, failed to rip through the highs. That's a bit of a sign to say that, okay, the strength we once had is declining. Doesn't mean we can't later go rip through the highs, doesn't mean we can't, you know, later still do that, but there is a change in the way price is moving, and because we change, that's why I decided to not look for any re-entries. And yeah, we're looking quite bearish now intraday, to a point where I actually think some shorts actually look pretty good here. Especially if you get another pullback into this kind of area. I think that's a healthy place for a short. You got some lower lows and lower highs. Let's see if we can go run some intraday highs and then look for continuation. I think that's a smart move as well. And that goes against the bullish bias there for the DXY. Of course, I think CAD's quite strong right now because oil's rallying like crazy. So CAD is quite strong. But yeah, I mean, if CAD is going to stay strong, you can probably take advantage of that with dollar CAD's price action. So yeah, not bullish at all on dollar CAD anymore. We have poked our noses past this low here. Have we? Okay, maybe we haven't. I thought we did. No, actually, no, we did. Actually, nah, I'll just say it's an equal low. It's pretty much gone to the pit. But yeah, the key element for me is the failure for price to create highs there. Now I'm not so convinced with this uptrend anymore. So staying a bit more patient with dollar CAD, and we'll see how price unfolds. If you're looking at intraday opportunities, I'll be focusing at shorts really. As for Aussie dollar, again, still kind of in that area. I think picked up some momentum this morning. Again, still very, very flat. If we go to the daily chart, as I was pointing out yesterday, equal highs, equal lows. The market is super, super flat, so I wouldn't really be looking to do anything in this area. If you're really interested, sell high, buy low. Other than that, I'll leave it alone. Again, I do have a bearish bias on Aussie dollar, but the reason why I've been refraining from entering any sells is because, again, price is back in support, demand, respecting it pretty well. I want us to be up in those areas if I'm looking to sell. We've had a nice drop, a pullback, a nice drop again. I want to see that happen. And if things look good, then yeah, maybe I can find some shorts up in that location as well. But for the time being, we're nowhere near there. And I wouldn't be surprised if you do see some force to the upside come into play, especially if you can get closure above that level. If we do, it could actually be some nice pullbacks intraday to ride it back into that supply zone. But for now, yeah, very, very flat. New Zealand dollar as well is looking for another pullback for this one. It's taking its time. But again, this is the area which I want to find a pullback into. You can see how consistent price is being every time we do sweep this low. You know, price does have a pullback, a pretty big one as well. So I'm looking for that to happen in the same fashion. And as long as price can respect these highs, this high in particular, I'll be looking to try and sell it back down again. So overall, New Zealand dollar still a very bearish market. Aussie dollar still a very bearish market, especially when you look at the bigger picture. We've been falling since this high here back in 2021. So I'm pretty bearish in general and actively looking to short, but just waiting for a good opportunity, which I don't see at the moment. As for gold, again, still super, super bullish on gold. Actually, if we go to the 4-hour chart, again, I do like how we're reacting to this zone. I do like what we're seeing here. I'm not quite sold yet to be looking for a buy. This is kind of looking a little bit flat to me. But if we can pick up some strength, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that for gold. So yeah, waiting for a bit more strength coming into play, and then hopefully I can find some longs on a pullback. If we continue to like roll over and respect resistance, I'll leave it alone. We might still go further down, but if I can see some strength come into play, I'll be looking to take those pullbacks. Likewise with silver as well. If we can break through highs, that would be nice. Looks like price respected the lows yesterday. We're coming back into highs now. Perhaps some strength come into play. I wouldn't mind something like that. It's quite aggressive just after such a big drop. But again, I'm still very much focused on the higher time frame trend here. So I'm still going to keep up that aggressive buy. So I probably would watch out as soon as we come back into this area. Because if we're going to sell off, it would be from there. But because I do have that super bullish buy still in silver and gold, I would expect us to trade through those areas. And I'll be looking for pullbacks along the way. So gold and silver, it looks like they're forming some type of bottom here, at least some type of low. Both kind of choppy, both kind of consolidating a little bit. Let's see if we can get some momentum to the upside and then talk about some pullbacks afterwards. But yeah, I'm still looking to play the long game, still looking to buy both of them. Not just yet. So USD pairs, I'm not in love with, to be honest. I don't really have like a great opportunity. I'm looking to trade in the USD pairs. Dollar yen, I'm not looking to trade just yet either. Dollar CHF, I don't really see a good opportunity there too. So I'm staying back from the USD pairs for now. Is anyone trading USD pairs? Or maybe has been trading? What's up, Bashi, my man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yusuf, did I say hello? I'm not too sure if I did. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I have no idea. Yoshi, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yes, we can go through Aussie CAD, GJ, UJ in the 15, no problem. Amal, yes, dollar yen keeps going up. I think more to do with the yen, but of course we have been pretty strong on the USD this week. So we've got a strong currency, or a relatively strong one against a pretty weak one at the moment. But we'll go through a bunch of USD pairs, but I will go through Aussie CAD, GJ, and UJ first. That's basically sleeping my whole stream, and GJ gave me something but didn't give a clean entry. Yeah, I mean, that's how trading is, isn't it? You're kind of just waiting for an opportunity to come around. You have no idea if one will come or not. You kind of just got to be ready waiting. And you don't know when it will come as well. Like, for example, I took 2 trades pretty much first thing on Monday. Going into the week, I didn't think I would be doing that. I mean, I knew I'd be taking GJ quickly, but dollar CAD, I was eyeing it up and it just happened very quickly, hopped into the trade, and then I haven't taken a trade since. So it comes and goes. Okay, pound buys. Okay, nice. Yeah, there is USD as well. I think that's the cycle of the markets. Gold taketh just as much as it giveth. Takes with one hand, gives with the other. Okay, let's go through GJ and UJ on the 15. So I'm actually going to start to look to drop intraday now with GJ, because the swing position is in. It's doing its job. Hopefully, it will continue doing its job. But the swing position is in. So this is just gonna hopefully. Momentum will pick up and hopefully we'll eventually start to really push through that. But in terms of really taking advantage of the opportunity, I do want to drop intraday and get some really tight stop losses and really try and see if I can milk this trade for what it's worth. So I will be scaling a lot lower, probably not 15 just yet, because it looks like price is just about breaking some structure here, which I like. We've been trying to push low. We had first stab, second, third. Now we're creating some bullish structure here. And of course, now we've just ripped through the high. So of course, the next idea would be looking for another pullback, another high low, and more upside. And the next big target, at least intraday, would be the highs at 205.022. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. We need a pullback, of course. Price just broke through the highs. I'm not really one to buy at highs, especially in FX. So I'll let people have their fun with that. But if we can have a bit of a pullback, that would be great. I do like this area here. Brief pause to give us some momentum there. That could be an interesting place for a buy. It depends how far we push and the type of pullback we get, but on paper that does look good. Again, as for the 15, I think it's a bit too intraday just yet, especially just taking out highs. I mean, this area looks reasonable for a buy, but it's just a little bit flimsy being at the highs here, that we could see a bigger pullback. But if momentum does keep up, it does make some sense there. But I would probably stay to the hourly chart. I would only drop to the 15 once we get like a very, very kind of confirmed breakout through this high. And what I mean by that is some more momentum and we clear it by a bigger distance. And then I'll be happy to drop to the 15 because I know there's momentum there and likely to continue. So yeah, 15, I would say keep an eye on that zone, or just be a bit more patient and wait for more convincing momentum to enter the market. But if you are happy with that zone, I can definitely understand it. I like that hourly level there just below us. I'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, GJ, we are looking at pushback to 205.022. In terms of UJ, I think this might be the better one in the 15. I spoke about some buys over here. It looks like the market was far too bullish for that. Again, we created another range and market's broken out again. So this looks like a healthy place for a retest. If I drop to the 15, yeah, I would say keep an eye on this range here. If we could pull back into that zone, maybe a nice double bottom, could probably even specify this area to be a bit more precise. And then from there, we can bet on a continuation back to wherever that high forms. Let's say if the high forms there, that would naturally be a good target to have. But we do have that possibility that we could be pushing back to this high. Because of course, if you expand, look at the bigger picture, and the market's been pretty consistent with these higher highs and higher lows. Is this another higher low? It could be. If it is, that should take us back to this high. So intraday, 50-minute, you can not only trade this pullback, but then you can look to try and see if you can stretch the trade back to the high as well. Again, really take advantage of that momentum. So yeah, dollar yen buys, GJ buys, they both look really good. Yen looks extremely weak right now, so I think that's the best play. In terms of Aussie CAD, I'm not a fan of this one. Last time I checked, it was still in the range. So again, as I've said with this one, if you're looking for opportunities, just focus at the high and the low. If you do get into some buys here, great. Of course, naturally a great place for a buy back at the low of the range. And likewise at the high there. But I wouldn't look to do anything with the 50-minute because as of right now, we're trading close to the middle of the range, which naturally is where the most fluctuation is going to happen, the most noise is going to be. And I don't want to be looking to try and place my entries and my stop losses in those areas. I want to be away from all that noise, and the best way to do that is to be at the extremes of the range, the high and the low. So not the biggest fan of Aussie CAD, even direction's a little bit hit and miss. Yes, we've seen a lot of bullish momentum recently, but we failed at highs there, which is a bit of a red flag. You don't really want to see price fail at highs like that. That's not a sign of a healthy trending market. Yes, we are respecting lows, and you can probably say that we're trading inside a bigger range here. So we've got this range within that range. So yeah, overall direction is not even really clear in my eyes for Aussie CAD either. So I would suggest if you want to keep it short and sweet, try and look for some scalps off the high, scalps off the low. And that for me is the best opportunity really with Aussie CAD. In terms of anything trend following, I don't think it really makes sense in these conditions. So yeah, not the biggest fan of Aussie CAD, and I don't really see much of a setup on the 15. But GJ and UJ, sure. I think there's some opportunities on some pullbacks. I am mute. I was basically saying, guys, if you haven't checked out our Perks platform, make sure you go check it out if you haven't done so already. If you are looking to trade cryptocurrency, this is a great place to trade them. If you do have a Solana or an Ethereum wallet, you can connect it directly to the platform and trade straight away, whether demo or live, so depending which environment you favor. If you are looking to trade live, withdrawals are very swift. Pretty much as soon as you close your trade, you can withdraw straight away. There's no need to request or wait for a certain time period. Everything happens very, very quickly. Everything is settled instantly. And one of the prize features of the platform is the AI feature, which will provide you analysis, provide you support resistance levels, provide you actual trade ideas, sentiment analysis, and a lot more as well. So if you are interested, come check out the platform. Again, it's free to start using. There will be other markets added to the platform as well. At the moment, we just have cryptocurrencies and a wide range of them, but we'll be adding FX pairs, indices, commodities as well. So if you are interested, check out the platform. I have pinned at the top of the chat, and I do have some videos on the channel which I go into a lot more detail how to use it as well. So make sure you check it out if you guys haven't done so already. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't realize I was muted there. Wait, let me check. Okay, yeah, I'm not muted anymore. But yeah, thanks for letting me know, guys. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with UJ, Aussie CAD, and GJ. We can take a look at dollar CAD as well. DXY same, neutral. Yeah, we've had some nice momentum, but we're starting to flag a little bit now, and especially coming back into areas of supply, it just is just a bit of a dangerous place to keep buying. If you're in a buy, that's a different scenario, because then you can just manage the trade, and if price continues, great. If it doesn't, you'll be trailed out somewhere. But in terms of just taking some fresh buys on the dollar, I think it's very, very awkward right now. Good morning, Olivia. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Godfrey, good morning. Hope you're well. Yes, we can take a look at euro dollar, no problem. Francis, 8:30 is about to be crazy. Francis, where are you based? Are you in the States? No problem, Yusuf. Yeah, I'll go take a look at dollar CAD and euro dollar next. Okay, cool. Cleveland. Yeah, because I was wondering. Because you said 8:30. I was like, yeah, 8:30. That's got to be somewhere west of the globe. More west than the UK. Okay, so yeah, we'll take a look at dollar CAD, then we'll go through euro dollar, and we can go through some more yen pairs as well. So yeah, in terms of dollar CAD, yeah, I think intraday shorts look the best here. I do think there's some downside intraday, but I wouldn't be looking for anything big for dollar CAD, because overall I'm actually quite bullish on this one. I'm looking at buys here. We've had a really nice move to the upside. We've broken through some key resistance on the left there as well. I'm looking to see if price can eventually come back, retest this zone, and actually look for another bullish leg. So long term, that's still my play. However, it might be time for a bit of a pullback now. And intraday, you can take advantage of that. But again, I'm going to be looking for like a big swing, because my higher time frame bias is still up. So if I'm going to go against that, I want to keep it short and sweet. But yeah, really nice close yesterday. This was yesterday afternoon, and if price can pull back into that zone, I do think that's a very attractive place for a short, as long as price can respect that high. And then I would expect to see another leg lower, and possibly a push towards those areas, but I wouldn't necessarily try and bank on that. So yeah, USD CAD, I've gone from a pretty bullish bias at the start of the week to, okay, we failed at highs, we've broken through some structure, we're starting to see some momentum to the downside, to a point now where I'm actually bearish intraday. Still looking at buys slightly longer term, but yeah, I wouldn't be looking to buy if that was your bias here. I think the sells make a lot more sense, at least for the here and now. And then once we start to come to these areas, then hopefully we can start to switch around again and start to see break of structure and some buy opportunities come into play. But until then, I think short's where it's at. In terms of euro dollar, again, I still do think the market's pretty bearish. We've had a really nice reaction at that supply zone. So, great. And there's probably still a good chance that price does reach this support level. But do I really want to be taking shorts in that zone? No, not really. We're coming back into demand areas, and we're looking a little bit tired as well. We had a bit of a strong close on the 4-hour candle, implying some bullish momentum coming to the market. So I just don't think this is entirely optimal in terms of a place to short. Again, a big way of how I trade is, if we've got structure in the market, oh my days. We've got the chainsaw guy back, right on cue. So yeah, if you've got a bullish structure like this, the areas I kind of want to be looking to buy in is down here. And then the areas I want to be selling in, if I want to go counter trend, is going to be up here. And those are kind of the zones I look at for shorts, zones I look at for longs. Now, if the market is trading in this zone here, even if I'm expecting price to go higher, it's just not a great place for me to buy. I'm coming into resistance, supply areas where price could reverse against me, and likewise in the other direction. So this is where I want to be selling. This is where I want to either be taking profit or just not doing anything. And if I do have an opposing bias, this is an area which I'll start to look for some longs. Preferably, actually, once we take out that low, then I'll start looking for some longs if I had that bias. But yeah, I just think price looks quite tired right now. Even if I drop intraday, doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence for the shorts here. I mean, maybe a push to the high there. That could be a nice place for a stop to put above. But again, it's just not in a great place. Um, 545. Ooh, up nice and early, Francis. Okay, so we can go for Euro Yen and NAS for Elizabeth. Good morning, Pascal. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. Okay, quite a lot of the pairs you're monitoring there. Euro Aussie, Euro CAD, Euro NZD, Pound Aussie, Pound CAD, Pound NZD. Someone's busy. Buys are loading. I mean, they're all very, very bullish markets. So I'm actually bullish in all of those markets you just mentioned there. So I do have a similar bias to you. And we can talk about some opportunities because, yeah, buys could be loading. Buys could be loading. Not quite ready yet. But yeah, they could be loading. Exactly. I think that's going to come an iconic... I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. But yeah, I was going to have a recurring chainsaw on the stream now. That's how you know I'm live, if there's a chainsaw in the background. David, you go bearish. Which mark are you talking about? I'm going to sell. Can I hold? Are you talking about for Euro? If you're talking about for Euro, again, the biggest advice I would tell you is to stick to your plan, because again, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't tell you what the market's going to do. I wish I could. I can only look at probabilities, and I can only look at where I would look to buy, where I would look to sell, and what I would do. And with Euro in this location, I wouldn't be looking to sell. I would have a bearish bias. I would expect us to still get to support, but I wouldn't look to sell here. If I was looking to sell, it would have to be higher up here. And if I was in a trade there, would I look to hold? Well, I normally do target price when lows, so I would still be holding the trade back to that low. Yeah, so that's my biggest takeaway. But again, if you should hold a trade or not, because I could tell you yes, hold, then it doesn't work, or I can tell you don't hold and it does work. And then next week it happens the other way around. So yeah, I'm afraid the answer to that question is whatever you plan to do. And if you didn't have a plan, well, take some profit and hold a little bit. That way you can scratch both itches. Angle grinder, I think, okay, you got an ear for it, CS. You can tell just by the sound. Okay, so we'll go through some of those markets Pascal mentioned, but I'll take a look at Euro, Yen, and NAS first. Yes, we can go through gold as well. So Euro, Yen, super bullish last time I looked. Is that still the case? Yeah, pretty much so. Nice momentum picking up. Looks like to me we're heading right back to the highs at 177. If you look at this from the higher time frames, this is the weekly chart. Momentum looks very, very bullish to me. Head to the daily chart. We're looking very bullish there as well. Just a lovely break and retest off that high. Similar setup to pound yen. It looks like price is now breaking out of this zone here, which I think is quite significant now. And the next stop to me looks like back at that high and probably even higher as well. So if you're looking to trade Euro Yen, especially intraday, you're just looking at pullbacks. You got a lovely zone here. If price can pull back into that zone, I think there's a very high chance we do make a move back to resistance. And I'm pretty much looking at an almost identical setup on pound yen as well, intraday too. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with Euro Yen, I can't lie. It looks like we've put the low in, and now we've just been putting in some higher highs and higher lows. So the plan is, can we find the next one, the next higher low, to take it back to resistance, and perhaps you can maybe drop to like an hourly chart, 30-minute chart, try and really refine the entry, maximize risk to reward. But as long as we don't come crashing back down and break through this low, I'm looking for us to turn around and head back to 177.7. So yeah, extremely bullish in Euro Yen, expecting more upside. NAS 100 failed at the highs. Interesting. So I would still be pretty bullish with this one. I'm probably looking at buys a little bit deeper. Maybe if you're going to run this low here and then look at something like that, because we do have these higher highs and higher lows coming into play. And of course, generally speaking, we are still very bullish. Yes, we failed at highs, but I wouldn't read too much into that, especially in the market in this situation. And we haven't had like a ginormous reaction. Yes, we had a bearish candle there. I'll still say momentum's with the buyers, especially with these wicks here. So I'll be looking at something like that, especially for a bit more of a swing opportunity. That can take it back to highs, maybe even further as well. Intraday, you might see another drop. I wouldn't really be focused on the sells. I kind of predominantly want to stick to buys, especially in these conditions. So I would be looking around here, 24,500. See if we can find some new lows and hopefully take it back to resistance. So NAS still pretty bullish to me as well. Yes, we can go through pound USD as well. Okay, fair enough, David. Okay, looking at what the bigger players are doing. Again, my outlook is always, price is always gonna reveal what's happening, and if bigger players are taking money out of something, price will eventually show that. So my logic is always just follow price, and you should be okay in the long term, of course. Okay, so we'll go take a look at some of the crosses you mentioned. We'll go through Aussie CAD, Pound CAD, Euro CAD, Pound NZD, Euro NZD, because they're all very, very bullish markets. So I generally do agree with the buys. And if we scoot to the daily chart, you can see Pound NZD still ripping to the upside, still looking very, very healthy. Looks like we're pulling back into some lows here. This was the previous low, which gave us this high. To me, this is still a very smart place to start looking to buy the market. Now, in terms of entries, not really seeing a good one form just yet. We've had a pretty nice drop there. I would like to see price come back down, respect lows, and then see a really strong reaction upon that to show momentum coming back into the market. Or you could drop intraday. Let's see if we can get some momentum here so we can create some bullish structure with low, high, and then intraday this becomes an interesting area for a buy. And that way you can actually maximize your risk reward there as well. So yes, I do think Pound NZD is setting up for buys. As long as we stay above this low here, then I will have that same bias as well. If we do break through that, then I will step back. But nothing quite there yet. Still looking pretty bearish. Momentum's still with the bears at the moment. I do like yesterday's candle. Nice wick to the downside. Shows that momentum's slowing down, but not enough for an entry. Euro NZD, basically same situation as well. A lot of momentum in the market. We're pulling back into some areas where we could see some buyers stepping in. You can see it's a very established trend. Again, as long as price stays above this low here, I still keep that bullish bias. Again, something nice for Euro NZD could be something like this, and then some pullbacks back to the highs. And these could be your intraday opportunities to buy it back up. Break structure again, high, higher, low, higher, low, and a push back to the swing high. If we break that low, then again, I would be a bit more cautious with the buys. But overall, Euro NZD, Pound NZD, both doing the same thing as well. In terms of Pound CAD and Euro CAD, same logic applies there. Still very, very consistent with the market structure. Back to this low here, we've created a new high. Price now pulling back into this territory. Again, if the market can start to see some strength coming to the market, come back into the lower time frames, we could probably see some nice swings to trade there back to highs. In terms of just looking to take it outright, trying to catch the low, I would wait for some serious strength to come into play. So like a strong close on the 4-hour chart as an entry trigger. Right now the market's quite flat and still could keep falling as well. And same logic applies. If we do break through this low, I would start to be a bit more cautious with Pound CAD and Euro CAD. Euro CAD as well, still very, very bullish. Again, if Euro CAD does break through this low, I would again back away from the long bias. But this is predominantly where I'm looking for us to bounce. And we're looking extremely corrective as well. So momentum is slowing with the bears. A strong candle could be a nice entry signal, or again, waiting for price to develop on the intraday time frames, and then some pullbacks along the way. Makes sense back to highs. So I can see the logic there. All those trends are pointing up, and they have been for a while. As long as we maintain those higher highs and higher lows, I do think it's a bullish market, and I would only be looking to buy it. Break structure, however, I will pause or even rethink the bias. Okay, so I'll go through gold and pound USD next. No problem, Elizabeth. Happy to help. Pound NZD, I think is a sell. I wouldn't sell Pound NZD until we do start to break some structure. Just because this has been a notorious uptrend. And again, it depends how long you're looking to sell for, because even bears can make profit in a bull market. It just depends to your timing. Because this has been a pretty smooth uptrend, relatively smooth uptrend. but there has been some meaningful sell opportunities, as we can all see there. So bears can still take their slice of the cake, but you just don't want to be looking for reversals every time you do take a short, because every time you would have shorted here, price eventually does push back against you, and it very well could do the same thing here and continue. So it's always a risk to try and look for a prolonged move if you're going against a higher time frame trend, and this is definitely one which has been in play, arguably since this kind of breakout here back in April 2023. So I do agree the market's quite overextended, and eventually, yes, pound NZD is going to see some downside, but let's wait for it to break structure first, and then the shorts become a little bit more higher probability. If we don't break structure, I'll be quite careful with the shorts. Okay, fair enough, David. I mean, I won't complain, to be honest, if the markets become a bit more volatile. For me, volatile markets is a good thing. It can be a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing as long as you have an approach to the market and you can systemize it. Then of course, markets which are moving quicker and faster, normally a good thing. Slow markets, you sit in trades longer, especially if you're playing swap, is not ideal. But yeah, let's see how it all unfolds. Holy One, what's up, my man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Profit EU, nice. Going to 1559, then out. Okay. Yeah, we do have a lot of news coming out later. USD and CAD. Jobless claims, USD, retail sales, CAD. Existing home sales in the afternoon as well. Even Aussie PMI in the evening. So yeah, a bunch of news coming out today. So if you are intraday on USD pairs, I would want to keep that in mind. Okay, so let's go through gold and pound USD. We can take a look at euro as well. Abdi, New Zealand CHF in a pullback, sell soon. Okay, we can discuss that as well. I'm pretty bearish on pretty much all the CHF pairs, so I'll be looking to sell it as well. Good morning, Almost Healed. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, as for gold, I am eyeing up buys for this one. Still not quite there yet for me to start clicking any triggers. I like where we landed. We've come back into a really healthy demand zone. It gave us a really nice run to the highs here. It looks like the market's finding support really well at that zone there, but I would say we are still quite flat. And I wouldn't be too surprised if gold does go through another sell-off. So I'm not quite ready to be jumping into any longs yet. Basically, if we can get price to run the highs here aggressively, I wouldn't mind to pick up some longs on a pullback. But it needs to be aggressive. It needs to kind of show me that, okay, despite the momentum we've had here, now seeing the buyers really step back into play. So I need to see some conviction with gold. And then, yeah, I'll be happy to take some pullbacks. I don't mind taking more aggressive trades with gold because, generally speaking, it's quite an aggressive bull market. And in this climate, gold doesn't need much of an excuse to start ripping to the upside. So if we could see a convincing break of the high, I'll be interested in pullbacks. If we're kind of sluggish and respect the high even, we could still very much see another sell-off. So being cautious with gold, but I like how we're respecting this zone. Just need to see some strength come into play, and then I'll be happy to look to buy it. As for pound USD, so again, pound, overall, we've had a really nice swing to the downside. I still do think there's a good chance price can get back to the low here. It's just, we have been super corrective. And I'm not entirely loving where we're located for a short. If I'm looking to short pound USD, it's because price is up in this zone here, back in supply, and where I can put a nice stop loss above and look for a bigger swing. I'm not as keen jumping into shorts there, especially when we're coming back into areas of demand. I did speak about some intraday shorts yesterday, as we came back to test this zone. We've seen a nice reaction from that. That move is still in play, and we could still see price sweep the lows here and pull back into that support zone. But yeah, not my favorite area for a short, I must admit. So either, if I'm looking at pound USD from my perspective, I'll look to see if we can get something like that back into resistance, then get a short. That would be a very, very nice trade for me. But yeah, not particularly keen there. To be honest, I still do expect us to roll over. It's just I wouldn't place a short there. And as for Euro USD, similar with this one as well. Still looking pretty bearish. We still very much can get a push back to this low. But because we're coming back into areas of demand, I'm not so keen in shorting here. I did say maybe a pullback to this high could look good depending how we react with the high. That could be a nice place for a short. At least you're slightly higher up and you can get a safer stop loss. But yeah, still a very bearish market, and we've been super consistent with the lower highs. And looks to me we've just put another one into the market and likely to come back to support. So Euro intraday, I do see us rolling over. It's just not in a place where I want to be looking to short. Based on how I trade. But I would be surprised if Euro suddenly does reverse here. I do think we're likely to at least run the lows. Even if we are going to eventually reverse, I do think we'll probably see some new lows first. Okay, no worries, Bashi. Take care, my man. Have a good one. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Does really help out. And of course, if you do have any questions, any markets you're looking at, drop it in the chat and we shall take a look. Yeah, Jay, for Euro, I'm pretty bearish, but I'm just not seeing any opportunities to enter a short just yet. LFTJ, what's up, my man? How's GJ Trader enter the buy at the breakout retest 203? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm still long on pound yen. It's going pretty well. I mean, it's picked up some momentum now, so I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm going to see if I can drop to the lower time frames and really scale into this, because this is like a nice swing position, which you don't have to be too worried about news, and you can kind of hold for the bigger plays. But I want to see if I can drop a bit more intraday and really kind of like find like a more refined entry with a refined stop loss, so I can get some bigger risk rewards. But yeah, GJ is looking good now that we have broken through the highs again. We're looking good here. We're picking up these higher lows. I've talked about some intraday opportunities for some pullbacks should we get there. But yeah, I'm looking at price simply coming back to highs now, and I do have some extended targets up there, 207, which refers to the swing high and like the daily, weekly charts. That's where I well and truly do see pound yen pushing towards. So if I can find some intraday longs in between, then that's fantastic. But yeah, pound yen going pretty well. Momentum's picked up this morning. Just waiting for a strong close on the day, to be honest. We had a nice close on, was it Tuesday? Yeah, relatively nice close on Tuesday, but it's been inside this mess. If this candle can keep pushing and close above the highs here, above the wicks, well, it probably sets a strong end to the week for Friday. Maybe a nice start to next week as well. Okay, so Pavinator, what's up, my man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. Honey1G does look like a short, it's not yet. Okay. That's probably the selling euro to me. To be fair, euro is slightly, I don't know, they're quite similar at the moment. I was going to say euro is slightly weaker than pound, but yeah, they're very, very similar. I mean, they've been consolidating like crazy. I mean, euro is slightly weaker than pound in the past 4 hours, but it's been very up and down. I mean, they have been very similar, but I'm sure, of course, according to your like criteria, Euro is probably looking like the better sell. But both quite similar. Yes, we could take a look at Aussie dollar. No problem. No, I'm not closing the stream. I was just saying bye to Bashi. The stream is going well and strong. There's a fly in the room. How long do I hold my trades for? It depends on the time frame. If it's like a 4-hour chart, I'm looking for probably a week or two for a swing. If it's like intraday, if I'm entering like 15, 30 minute to hourly, then if things go well, probably 2-3 days. If it's more of a short-term target, could be out within the next day. So it does vary, to be honest. But the past 2.5 years, I've been trading on the 4-hour chart, and the swings I'm looking for there are roughly around the 2-week mark, maybe a bit longer if I'm really trying to push the trade. But recently, also trading on the intraday charts as well. And again, I'm trying to use the same approach in terms of looking for swings on the intraday, rather than like be intradays in terms of in and out within the same day. So for those trades, again, I'm looking at 2-3 days too. Okay, so we'll go look at Aussie dollar. This week, GJ King. GA King to GJ King. The recurring theme there is pound. Looks like I need to focus more on pound pairs. Yeah, it looks like you hop on the bus and then you get off and I stay on the bus. You take your wins and run. Francis. No. Not much of a scalper or a day trader. I have been dropping a bit more intraday recently, but again, even with my intraday positions, I'm still looking to hold overnight. So yeah, I'm a swing trader by heart, or by trade. I think that's the same. Okay, so we'll go through Aussie dollar. Have I missed out a pair? I don't think so. New Zealand CHF, that was the one I was supposed to look at. Okay, I'll go through New Zealand CHF next, since we're on Aussie right now. So yeah, in terms of Aussie dollar, again, I've been pretty bearish on this, but it's just not in a good place to short. Again, I like being closer to the extremes of a trend. So for example, if you've got a trend like this, I like to be in these areas when I'm buying, and again, if I'm selling in those areas, if I'm trying to go counter trend and call tops. Very rarely I do that, but sometimes I do. Most of the time, I'm just looking to follow trends and just be at the low. So again, if this is an uptrend, this is where I should be looking to buy if I am bullish. If I'm looking to sell, I need to be up here because that's where the structure, and that's where we formed our swing high. So this is not a place where I should be looking to sell. Doesn't mean we can't go lower, just means it's not a place I'm looking to be invested in. So with Aussie dollar, I'm looking to see if we can break higher. We're looking extremely tight here as well. So it looks like price is even struggling to push low, which is another sign to be a bit more patient. And if we can push into this zone, start to reject well, I'll be more than happy to short from there. Because again, if I zoom to the higher time frames, I do think Aussie dollar may just be putting another swing high, like we've been doing back over here. And we could be looking at something like that over the next few weeks, provided we see some USD strength come into the market as well. So long term, I still do see a very bearish swing coming into play. And from a swing perspective, I do want to be all over that. But equally, I have to be patient and not jump into the trade when things are not quite looking quite ripe yet. So yeah, with Aussie dollar, I'm looking at shorts around 0.658. Pavinator, you mentioned you're looking for a sell at 0.62069. Oh, you're looking for a sell to that? 62069. That would be around here. Is that typo? I feel like that's a typo. But that's what I'm looking at for a sell. I think you're probably looking at something similar. Okay, day trader slash swing trader. Okay. Let me know how it goes. Yeah, no one does. No one does, Francis. But yeah, I've never been attracted to scalping. I just don't like the idea of it. I mean, I don't. It's not like I dislike the idea. It's just I dislike the idea for me. I just don't see myself doing that ever. Yeah. I like the idea of like having a trade which you can hold for a while and have that run in the background. But yeah, let me know how that goes. Leighton, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing good. Okay, that one Aussie dollar with the stream convenience, so now I can't forget. Dollar yen, USD ZAR after aggressive pairs, of course, no problem. Yeah, okay, yeah, 0.65080. Yeah, makes sense. I was wondering. 65080. So pretty much at current price then. 65080 is pretty much there. So you're looking to short now? Or do you mean 0.658? Because that's what I'm looking to sell. Around there anyway. Aussie sell indicators are wonky, not touching that till it drops far. Then I enter it. Okay. Fair enough. What pairs do you have in your watch list, Holy One? So yeah, to be honest, I really haven't had a bad experience with scalping. I scalped a little bit at the beginning of my trading career, which was like 2018. To be fair, it wasn't even like scalping. I was kind of just, I had the idea of scalping, but I was trading the hourly chart. So I'd buy and then I'd hold for like maybe 2-3 candles, then I'll quickly exit. So I was scalping the hourly chart. It wasn't like a 1 minute chart. I've never really traded anything lower than a 15 on a serious level. I might have stuck a few trades in the 1 minute for fun ages ago, but yeah, that's about it. So I kind of scalped hourly chart. I did that for a while, to be honest. But yeah, I don't like it. I like looking for bigger moves. I like the idea of getting in with minimal risk and looking for big returns or bigger returns. I like the idea of that. Okay. So at the current price, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, if I was going to trade that range there, I would focus my shorts at this high. Let's have a quick look at the sentiment. Let me log in quickly, because I think with USD being weak, well, not weak, but weakening, I think people could be shifting their bias a little bit. And I think if that is the case, then Sales for Aussie could look good, but I would only be looking for a short-term move because we are looking quite tight at the moment. So I don't mind the level around 0.652. I think we can get a bit of a reaction there. I'm not too sure about here. I'd rather sell a little bit higher. I mean, there's nothing wrong with selling here, not playing out, and then looking for another sell higher up. It just means that you're looking to kind of play both areas. If one works, great. If it doesn't, I'll look for the second entry. Okay. Notably bearish institutional buyers, conflicting, scattered retail dip buying. Okay, so it looks like retail traders. Okay, social media is very bearish, but people are looking to buy. Okay, so bit of a contradiction there. It looks like a lot of people are discussing shorts on Aussie, and so am I. I have noticed that my analysis does kind of line up with a lot of what social media says. However, the timing is always the important part, because it doesn't really matter if you've got the same bias. Because at the end of the day, you can only either have a bullish bias or a bearish bias, or you could be neutral, but you're either going to be bullish or bearish. So you're going to line up with a lot of people at some point. But the timing of that is kind of where the separation does lie. So yeah, with Aussie dollar, I would wait for that higher push. It looks like a lot of people are buying here with the expectation it might run higher. And again, retail traders are not necessarily going to push this market up, but I do like to know kind of where the retail mind is, and then look to try and play off that. And since they're kind of buying a lot here, that's fine. It would be nice if they were kind of selling here, and then it going higher, then it pushed down. That would make a lot of sense. Okay, let's go through New Zealand CHF before I completely forget Abdi. Apologies, my man. Okay, so New Zealand CHF, I am bearish on this one as well. Not my favorite CHF pair. I'd probably say my favorite CHF pair is Aussie CHF, purely because Aussie CHF hasn't seen a new all-time low yet. New Zealand CHF has, so I feel like Aussie CHF is lagging behind a little bit. But of course, if you look at the bigger picture, scale to the daily chart, it's an exceptionally bearish market. Yeah, pretty much in free fall for quite some time. So you're predominantly looking to sell this one. Again, if you're looking for shorts, I'll look at this zone here. So between 0.46 and 0.465. And then what I'd be looking for is some highs to form. Maybe I'll spike through them, more or less like a flag pattern situation. Or you could be extra patient, wait for a price to break structure intraday, then look for some swings to trade it intraday in that favor. So you scale lower, wait for some lower highs, and then look to short it back to lows. You're either trying to catch the high or you're trying to catch pullbacks along the way. But yeah, I do think you're right to be looking to short. I would say as long as we don't take out this high, you're looking good for that bias. If we do take out that high, it doesn't mean that price is suddenly going to reverse like this. It might mean we see a bit more upside before that does happen. But it just means we have to be a bit more patient with the sells if we do take out that high. So yeah, New Zealand CHF, keep a close eye on that zone. If it breaks, I'll back away. If it can hold, great. Either you can try not to catch the high, slightly more aggressive trade, but probably the better risk to reward. Then you probably have a safer stop, or wait for things to reverse intraday or shift intraday and then look for pullbacks on the way. But I would say you're right to be looking to sell that one. Brights, what's up? GBP Euro to Yen have the same horizontal resistance. Yeah, they're very similar markets right now. Even in terms of the price action, they do look very, very similar. And again, it just means pick one of them and trade one of them. You could essentially pick both. They'll probably both play out or both fail. Just be aware of the risk. That's all. You could trade both of them if you want to, but just be aware of the risk. But yeah, they look really good to me. Intraday, they have my attention, especially pound yen because I'm already trading it. But I am looking to see if I can ride pound yen back to highs, not only with this swing position, but hopefully intraday too. That's an interesting way to describe it, LFTJ. Still have JPY buys, or hop back in them. Okay, cool. Clean pullbacks, not looked at many other pairs. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think there's still room for JPY pairs, so I could definitely see you focus on the yen pairs, maybe for the next week or so. Yeah, short-term move. Yeah, short-term makes sense. Because at the moment we're respecting support, so I wouldn't necessarily try and bank on Aussie dollar breaking through that. Good question. Do you do more buys than sells or the other way around? I used to do a lot more sells than buys, but in recent years, it's actually pretty much 50-50 to be honest. Which is weird because I didn't actively try and do that actually. It's not something I was like, okay, let me work on this. It just happened. So yeah, I used to take more sells than buys. Now it's more or less 50-50. There is phases where I would take a lot of buys, for example, or a lot of sells if like I'm really focused on a particular market. So if there's like a nice uptrend on like one of the yen pairs, I might start taking a lot more buys during that time. So it'll be skewed because of that. But on average, it's relatively 50-50. Okay, fair enough. Strictly trade from the weekly trend only. In one direction only. Let many trades go. I win. Much more trading completely one direction. Of course. Keep it simple. The simpler the better. Less is more. I think a lot of people can benefit from that, to be honest, because trading one direction makes a lot of sense, especially if you have a market which is moving in a particular direction in the higher time frames. It makes sense to favor that direction. Just on average, in terms of probability, going against that direction is always going to be a harder trade. Doesn't even matter if you had like the best setup since sliced bread. If you're going against the higher time frame trend, by default, it's just a harder trade to take advantage of. So, or at least look for a big move. So trading that direction just does simplify. It does get rid of 50% of the work, to be honest, because any kind of idea going against that, you kind of ignore. Because with trading, it's all about precision, really. GJ going to dust. What does that mean, German? You're saying GJ is going to zero? Francis, wait for a range. What other checklists you perform before getting in? Also good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so in terms of taking a trade, I'm mainly looking for momentum. Because I use a lot of candlestick patterns to take my trades, and the one advantage of using candlestick patterns is that you can gauge when momentum's bullish or bearish. And particularly if you look at the trend follow, waiting for momentum is actually quite an advantage, because if you've already got like a higher time frame which is pushing like pound yen, for example, continuously to the upside, and you can wait for momentum to come back in, well, the odds of price now continuing back to highs is a lot higher. So in terms of entering, I kind of wait for either price to, let's say we get a pullback, I kind of wait for price to either settle and then see momentum. That's always a nice opportunity, because it's kind of like biding its time, and eventually momentum steps in, and I'm expecting price to continue to the high. Or I'll look for price, let's say if we pull back, we have quite a big push instantly, What I would wait for is price to go and take out that second low and then look for a buy there. This is slightly more aggressive trade because you're buying as price recovers the low. So you're basically betting that now price is going to push, and it could generally mean price is still going to continue lower. But the advantage of this type of entry is that you can get really tight stop losses, and if it does play out, you look at really good risk rewards. But yeah, slightly more aggressive. So yeah, in terms of the checklist, I'm just waiting for price to kind of mature, so it kind of spends some time at a zone first, and then I'm waiting for momentum, and that normally is my trigger to bet on the continuation of a trend. And normally I'm just looking at the candlestick closures really. I would say a bullish engulfing candle, but it can be variations of that. It doesn't have to be a perfect bullish engulfing candle. It could be maybe 2-3 candles together, but I'm looking for momentum really. Clearly a fake out on GJ. How so, German? I guess German knows something that we don't know. And again, it could be a fake out. I have no idea. But again, there's one thing with trading. You can't speak in absolutes, because if you do speak in absolutes, then yeah, there's definitely something wrong there. You haven't probably been trading long enough. It doesn't matter how high probability or how clearly you see something, even those clearest opportunities can potentially fail. It could be a fake out. It might not be. You have no idea if it is or not. Because if you could spot if it is clearly a fake out, then you would have 100% certainty that it's a fake out. Therefore, you should have a 100% win rate. Just simply wait for those opportunities to form. And I'm pretty sure you don't. So yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll have to wait and see. All I know is that everything's ticked my box very well, and momentum's picked up. We've taken out some structure here. So now I'll be waiting for some pullbacks for more upside. If we do come back down and take out this low, fair enough. I will look to pause that intraday bullish bias, but I'll still be hanging on to this position because my stops are still there. But I wouldn't be looking to buy intraday anymore. If we can stay above that low there, then yeah, I'll be looking for a push back to high. Already in sells. Okay, fair enough. Have fun with the shorts then. Let's see who's going to be on the right side. Let's see who's going to be on the right side. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I'm just going in the right direction. It goes the right direction I'd be thinking, but it hits my stop loss before doing that. Well, the thing about that is you can always reverse engineer that, and that's something that I did, which is okay. Especially when you trade based on market structure and in the continuation of a trend, because there's either three things that could happen in a swing. Let's say whatever your strategy is, doesn't really matter what it is or however you enter the market. Sage trader, yeah, I will take a look at that. Just give me a sec. So let's say you got bullish structure here. You got the high, you got the low, and you got the high here. So your expectation is that I'm expecting a new higher low to form, and I'm expecting for price to at least get back to the high. So there's only three situations that can happen here really. Either you enter a trade, and let's say this is your stop. Either you enter a trade, it hits your stop loss, and then it reverses to your target. The second thing that could happen is, of course, you get into the trade, it doesn't hit your stop and hits your target. And the third thing that can happen is it hits your stop and it actually goes and takes out the opposing low. So if you get into a situation a lot where price does hit your stop and does go and hit your target quite a lot, so it means that you're doing very well at predicting swings and predicting market direction, but maybe you're getting in just a little bit too early, or maybe your stop's a bit too tight. So an easy fix to that is looking to get in a little bit later. So where your stop loss is kind of where your new entry should be, or getting it at the same time but giving yourself a bit more room. Of course, the downside of this is that it will sabotage your risk to reward, of course. But naturally your win rate should be boosted. But yeah, you could be looking at entering a little bit later, or potentially giving yourself a couple of attempts to go long. So if you do get stopped out on the first trade, you know, if you get a second signal based on your plan, maybe that's the profitable one. So you can just work backwards from there, especially looking at your losing trades. You know, what situation happens a lot? Do you get stopped out and price runs back to your high? Well, either give yourself a bit more room or potentially try to look to enter a little bit later. And just a simple tweak like that could have a big change in your P&L. Of course, if it's the third situation and price just runs and takes out this low a lot of the time, well, then you're in the wrong direction most of the time. So then you need to rethink that. But if you 60, 70, 80% of the time getting the swings right, then it's just about stop loss placement and entry placement. And most of the time, it's just getting in a little bit later. Because, especially in my experience, I've always been a little bit eager to try and get into the trade because I don't want to miss the move. So I'm always looking for that slight opportunity to enter a trade. Even if it kind of fits my plan, but it kind of doesn't, I'll still take the trade anyway because I'm fearful I might miss the move. So Electric Guy's having some fun right now. So yeah, try and investigate that. Okay, so we'll go take a look at FR40. Look at yen basket, my friend. That's what convinced me to enter GJ. LFTJ, you're talking about your longs on GJ. Let me use RSI stochastics and EMAs. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. The things about those indicators, they're slightly lagging, which is not a bad thing. A lot of people think lagging indicators are bad because they've got a bad name. Lagging indicators are good if you use them well. And the thing with a lagging indicator is it will confirm things a little bit after it's already confirmed by price, which gives you a bit more confidence to take the trade. What it does mean is maybe your stops are a little bit wider. But again, you can just look for bigger targets to compensate. So those indicators are great to use, but again, how to use them? Do you just look at oversold and overbought for the RSI and stochastics? In my experience, they're not completely reliable. Where are your buy zones? 203.3, 202.7. So I should keep them stops in place, just tweak. Yeah, you can keep the same stops, but try and see if you can get in a bit later. Because at the end of the day, it is basically maths. If you're getting in too early to the swing, literally try and enter a little bit later, on average. And the beauty of it is looking back at past trades, because that really is the proof to solve your questions. Because if you do have a common theme where you do get stopped out a lot and see price hit your targets, it means your directional analysis is really good. You're predicting the market pretty well, but maybe you're just getting in a bit too early. So play around with that. There's no kind of fix that fixes all, but there's definitely a small tweak you can make that will have a big boost in your P&L. Fake out, fake it till you make it. I'm not too sure what that means, to be honest, but fair enough. And again, I'm not saying either that GJ is guaranteed to make push the highs. I have no idea if it will or not. All I can do is just look at the probabilities of price. GJ's in a monstrous uptrend on the weekly, daily, 4-hour chart. respecting structure, momentum's picked up, looks like we've broken out of highs intraday. Probability of price continuing that direction is pretty high. And I'm happy to bet on that. Okay, so as for France, okay, so we're back at key resistance right now. I do think with France we can break through the highs here, but I don't really want to be buying into that. I'd rather wait for price to pull back and then look for some buys around here. That's more of a swing trade because, of course, that could take a week to pull back and then a week to continue. But you've got these continuous higher lows here. And if price can push back to that zone, I think that's a great place for a buy. And maybe you do get the breakout from there as well. Otherwise, you can just play it safe and wait for price to actually break the high and then look for pullbacks afterwards. Because it's definitely an area which has a lot of focus. And if we do see a strong break of that, fly just came in my face there. If you do see a strong break of that, there's a very high chance we'll probably continue. So either this or that. But I would only be looking to buy in this market. Have the same problem France 7-2. The thing about that is it's not such a big problem really. It's just a few tweaks away. Trading is very rarely you need to scratch this whole thing and do something else. Even if you have a slightly negative expectancy, making that positive could just be another one win every 10 trades you take. So, which is why I always advocate for recording your trades and journaling, because if you do have that arsenal, simply going through that and making some tweaks can be very, very effective. Also, another suggestion, if you do have your data, your past results, plug it into AI. Go and ask ChatGPT. Ask him to analyze, ask the AI to analyze the trades and ask for tweaks and adjustments, and it will give you tweaks and adjustments you can make. It could say, okay, these are your most profitable pairs, focus on that. Or you have a slight negative expectancy here, so maybe you look at entering with higher time frame trends. It will give you a lot of suggestions. Of course, it's very in depth. But just in terms of just looking at the chart, look back at your 10, 15 past Okay. Sincere apologies, guys. But we are back. We are back. My 4G ran out. I swear I had more, but looks like the stream's a bit more expensive now. Anyway, where was I? I mean, I appreciate the few people are still here. Let me see. I mean, we've only got about 5 minutes left anyway. I'll quickly run through some pairs I'm looking at for the rest of the week because I haven't gone through those pairs yet. I think I forgot to do Lighten's pair as well. Yeah, apologies, it was the internet connection timed out. But we're back up and running. So yeah, in terms of what I'm looking at for the rest of the week, well, it now will be looking to scale into pound yen more. So I'll be looking to see if I can find some pullbacks on this one intraday. These two levels look good, especially if we get another push, then I'll be even more interested in this zone here. But for the time being, just managing the pound yen position and see if I can buy some more. In terms of USD pairs, I'm actually going to leave USD alone for now. We've got some USD news coming up this afternoon or morning, wherever you are. I'm going to let USD do its thing. I don't think there's any clear-cut opportunities for any of them, really. At least for how I look to trade. I would still say I'm pretty bearish on pound USD, Euro USD. Now I'm still expecting dollar strength. I mean, looking at the markets intraday, this still looks pretty bullish to me. So I still do think we can probably get a push and a pullback, but as for what I'm looking for, I don't think we're quite positioned well for a big move there. I think the yen pairs are kind of in a really nice position. Even Euro yen looks really good. There's no point for me really to trade Euro yen because I'm already in pound yen and I'd rather look for pullbacks there. So if I wasn't trading pound yen, I'd probably be looking at Euro yen just as much. Basically the same setup. But I'll just focus on pound yen and focus on the buys there. In terms of some of the crosses where we spoke a lot about them, pound NZD, pound CAD, USD, Euro CAD, very bullish markets as a whole. We've got some nice areas which we're pulling back into, but I think it's still way too early to actually talk about any longs just yet. You can see Euro CAD in a really nice place. That's our previous swing low, which gave us the high. I'm still looking for the buys in that zone, but of course we're still looking pretty bearish to me there too. And pound CAD, yeah, still looking pretty bearish there as well. In a nice zone, but not really showing much opportunity there. So if I can look for some intraday kind of breaker structures, some pullbacks, momentum picking up, that's what will convince me to start taking some longs. And in terms of some of the CAD pairs, well, we talked about Euro CAD and pound CAD, but in terms of like Aussie CAD, New Zealand CAD, CAD CHF, I do like this one just because we do have a notorious downtrend for CAD CHF, and I'm looking to see if I can take a small piece of the pie of it, especially when I drop to the 4-hour chart. It looks like prices pull back into some structure, and similar to the setup I had in pound yen, just a simple break and retest in favor of momentum. I'm looking to see if price can respect that zone and then continue. So CAD CHF will be a pair I'll look at. If it does break above, then I'll leave it alone. But if it can respect that zone, I'll keep a close eye on it. Other CHF pairs I do like is Aussie CHF. I do think that's likely to keep falling. It's one of the only CHF pairs that hasn't made new all-time lows recently. Pound CHF is another one, but pound CHF is coming to such a big level. I do think Oz CHF has still got a bit of room to keep falling into, at least back to support, but I do expect us to break through. So as long as we don't go and break structure with Aussie Swiss, which is this low here, this high here, sorry. As long as price doesn't break through that, I'm very, very keen for more downside. And I'm looking for a push back into that zone, 0.5016. So yeah, extremely bearish on the Aussie CHF, but I'm going to give it time. We're still seeing upside. You've just gone and taken out this low. I don't want to be shorting directly after that's happened. But should we get to the zone, start to look a bit more corrective, maybe break structure again, then I can start to look for some opportunities to take it back down, at least back to this low. But like I said, the daily zone looks a lot more attractive. Robin, not really a VIP group, but I do have memberships on the channel, which I do have more like exclusive opportunities of trade ideas I'm looking to take in the moment, members only videos, a bit more detailed in analysis, and I talk about dealing with emotions and psychological roadblocks traders experience. So if you are interested in that, you can go through the memberships. It's just on the channel. It should say, once you subscribe, it should say join, or you can go to the description. At the top of the description, it will say join memberships, and it'll have a link to it. But it should either be next to the subscribe button or in the description below. But there's a link there. So yeah, for now I'm just going to sit in pound yen. I don't really have another opportunity to jump into. To be honest, if I do take another trade this week, it would be another long position in pound yen. Hopefully. Yeah, I think especially with like a lot of like RSI, for example, I do think you need to add your own edge to the RSI as well, because everyone's going to have the same settings, the default settings. But adding your own kind of tweak to that can help you maneuver the RSI, stochastics, MACD, pretty much any kind of indicator of that ilk. Anyway guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. Apologies about that late issue there. Data ran out. I should have been on top of that a bit better. So I do apologize for that, and I do apologize for the chainsaw activity in the back there. That's been consistent throughout the stream, consistent for most of the week as well. We had the megaphone guy, now we've got a chainsaw guy. I wonder what we have tomorrow. But yeah guys, I appreciate you tuning in to another stream. I do really appreciate it. As always, drop a like if you have enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and of course hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Check out the channel memberships if you are interested, added perks there, trade ideas, members only videos as well. So if you are interested, have a look see. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. I probably will be live later today with Trader Nick on his channel, so if you head over to Trader Nick shortly after the news drops, I'll be live with him most likely. If not, I'll see you guys same time as always here tomorrow. I appreciate it, Olivia. Have a great day, and of course I'll see you all, of course, hopefully later today, but if not, tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in guys. Have a great one. Take care.
Six AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. Exi, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.